is the state interested in his research? If we are to build the superhuman, we must first eliminate those who are flawed.
If you can stop an earthquake, doesn't that mean you could start one too?
That's why that notebook should never fall into the wrong hands.
All of downtown, the high-rises were built on rollers to withstand horizontal shakes. A vertical quake this size could collapse half of downtown.
We have commenced countdown. Shall we stop this thing?
Save the universe!
Hey guys, Demon Under here, hope all is well. Okay, so as you can see, this predictive programming talking about frequency-based weapon systems targeting protesters, as well as looking to lock onto your brain signature in terms of mind control. It's part of their gang stalking targeted individual program, which you can see here. It's through the use of nano implants and bioappies that are in our systems via these Morgellon fibers, DARPA fibers being sprayed on us, and also through GMOs, and they're able to lock on our brain signature via these antennas that are in our bodies. And then you got the W up there that they always reference, which is the 2 U's. They're hunting the good U, they're looking to take out the red bloods, the blue bloods, reptilian blue blood race, Genesis 1 race, looking to take out the Genesis 2 red blood race. The bloodline Jesus would come through in order to reconcile the 2 back to 1 in him. And they're now using these weapon systems on the protesters in New Zealand and Australia. As I've shown you, and again here, you've got this individual targeted. He's being targeted there. And, yep. So this is going on, and they're microwaving people, trying to disperse crowds, and at the same time create order out of chaos in these crowds, which is obviously what they're looking to do, create chaos, tear down the old and bring in the new Babylon. Rebirth of Babylon. There you have the 88s. Here you got Tesla talking about frequency-based weaponry, and all his supposedly information was acquired by Trump's father,
uncle,
and now the Trump administration allegedly has this. But and then here you've got the LED blue lights in your iPad, which are addicting and part of mind control, and that being a scrying mirror. In the back there, you can see the Paris, the toroidal field flower with the flat plane earth in the center, and the golden phi, to which we all have within us. We're electrical beings. He's doing the Masonic hand gesture there. And there's a sign up here that are showing the plasma colors that are coming in through their opening gateway portals to outer darkness, and all these plasma rays coming in, radiating the people. And they started off with a beta test targeting the homeless before being rolled out to the masses. And obviously these frequency-based weaponry systems can create weather chaos. These buildings were built to withstand earthquakes from vertical movement from an earthquake, but not longitude.
Side.
And you got the all-seeing eye there. And then here you got the 222 reference of the cult. And then you also got the 42 Antichrist spirit will reign 42 months. And then you've got also, potential target areas there. And let's see here. Yeah. Looks like the W they're making there. And then they show the blue helicopter, which is representing, I believe, the reptilian blue bloods. I know the gang stalking, a lot of them used blue. I had blue and white helo buzzing my pad nonstop. I've got video recordings of all that, and buzzing my pad real low. And it's always a blue and white one, but that's on record. And you can see the W's there in the back that they always reference along with the 88s. The dimensions colliding, the two becoming the one, and then there's the crowd control through the use of these psychotronic weapon systems. And you got the black and white Masonic colors there, keys and tones. And there we have the psychotronic weapon system being shown for mind control, dispersing crowds, protest. And then this is just some of their gang stalking targeted individual diagrams just being shown in order to silence people and whistleblowers through the use of using these towers and, again, these frequency-based weapon systems. And this mind control program and gang stalking is going on all across the world, as you can see. And these microwave bullets coming from these cell towers, as well as these GPS satellites. So Satan, known as Ra, looking to radiate the planet, like I said, in order to get everybody accustomed to accepting Human 2.0 transhumanism agenda. They're looking to ascend another way without Jesus, via the transhumanism agenda. Satan looking to set his kingdom up in the hearts of man, replacing God. God doesn't dwell in the machine, he dwells in the hearts of man. And Satan's looking to take over the balance within your mind, attacking your pineal gland, your direct connection to God and Jesus. And all aimed at the transhumanism agenda, trying to get everybody assimilated into the AI hive mind. Skynet, the Borg, with the Sun Simulator being a surveillance apparatus. You can see it there, plug it in and lock it onto the lady's brain signature via the optogenetics, light spectrum. And they got the Peacock up there as well. And so this is going on, and it's important that we remain grounded in Christ. And just to let you know that sin does lower your vibration. You got to keep your vibration high, which actually makes it harder for them to lock onto your brain signature. And this PCR test for the whole, pandemic is to break your blood-brain barrier, allowing this synthetic nanites to crawl up and latch onto your brain signature and overtake your neurological system, turning you into a remote control bot for the order. Connected to the graphene oxide with you, due to the ingredients found within these jabs. And so it's all part of their mind control, eugenics, the calling program. And then, so DARPA's got all this tech, as you can see, they've got these GMO mosquitoes as well, these DARPA mosquitoes, surveillance mosquitoes, and they're looking again to simulate you into the hive mind, turning you into a bot for the order. Meanwhile, I believe they have an apparatus platform up there, Skydome Atlantis. Nothing is beyond our reach. That's because they're spraying us with smart dust, and it's they can create anything they want in the skies above. Weed whackers from hell, blowers from hell. So it's a dome within a dome. You got God's enclosed structure, and then you're going to have underneath that, you got Satan inverting, twisting, polluting that, having created his own smart dust confinement dome, which is connected to the 5G towers, which is connected to the Gwen towers that got 300 copper spoke wheels underground, again, Satan's vacuum sealing God's natural earth frequency, replacing it with his own technocracy-based kingdom, his own metaverse. It's going to be he's the new North Star now. God's resides in the or Apollyon resides in the sides of the north, pretending to be God, you know. And so he's created his own metaverse now. Satan being the new North Star, and again, Ra's known as radium on the periodic table. And here we have it. You got your Smart Disk Confinement Dome. You got Sky Dome Atlantis there. They're simulating the constellations. Yep. All aimed at the transhumanism agenda. This is going to be their new golden age. Okay, they're going to tear down the old, meaning they're going to depopulate the planet. They're radiating it, and the phoenix will rise out of the ashes. With the New World Order bringing back Babylon, Interstellar, that was just showing you Interstellar, a low Earth orbit, and you got the MIT dome there, and then with the star on it, Apollyon nest in the sides of the north, and you got micro dust there, and then you got all these Illuminati playing cards, spontaneous combustion, talking about their microwaving folks, and you got your mind control program. And whole 9 yards. All right, you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Stay armored up. Know that Jesus loves you, and we'll talk to you here real soon. Take care.
Let's talk about this. Alpha radiation, pause and read. Beta radiation, pause and read. Gamma radiation, pause and read. Is also brainwaves. Alpha brainwaves control that. Beta brainwaves control.
You get the gist. All about mind control, and we'll just leave it with this. Check this out.
That's when. Okay, enough. Don't listen to this guy. Everything's conspiracies with him.
Not conspiracies. Conspiracy. Singular. Reaching back to ancient Egypt, there's been a single cabal of powerful individuals directing the course of human history. But the common man prefers to believe they don't exist, which aids their success.
Global warming, military upheavals in the third world, actors elected to public office.
The spread of coffee bars, germs outpacing antibiotics, and boy bands? Come on. Who would gain from all this?
Who indeed?
Look who they put right there. Yep, your fake Jews. The serpent seed, the Canaanite serpent seed race. Yep. All right, you guys have a mighty blessed one. Stay armored up. Know that Jesus loves you, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Nanocells are real small. 1,000 times smaller than these dust particulates. You inhale it, they go to work, replicating, spreading like a virus, multiplying in exponentials. 6 months' time, I could have 100 million people. Converted ditch diggers, porn stars, and presidents. Not one would be the wiser. 100 million people who buy what I want them to buy and do pretty much damn well anything I figure they ought to do.
I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, not a month goes by where I don't get a call at my institute by someone telling me that someone in the government implanted these things in their brain without them knowing. I'm not kidding.
The ultimate aim would be to archive enough data on each individual to be able to make a computer model of everyone on the planet.
What we're building in the computer databases represents real life and is both the information that's necessary and sufficient to drive all DNA-based life forms.
We talk often about the quantum computers, the kind of ability they've got to map and model humanity itself because of this Internet of Things that is all around us now as well. We're feeding all of our information back into this quantum computer that's basically got a virtual world where all of us have a digital avatar in there. They're able to manipulate the digital avatar in a virtual world, and that's actually translated to effects in the real world.
So if you can go back and forth in the computer, all of a sudden we can do something different, treating life as digital information.
we can actually send that digital information as an electromagnetic wave, convert it back into DNA, and all life on this planet that we know of is all DNA based.
We're probably 90% genetically software programmed. There's a lot of different things you can do to change the outcome or make things better or make them worse. It's easy to make them worse. We actually make 3D avatars. Once you make an avatar, you guys have all seen the movies, you can digitally make them do whatever you want. Send the digitized information at the speed of light as electromagnetic waves and deconvolute it back at the other end back into biology.
The avatars and the nodes, when those are manipulated digitally in the simulation, it manifests physically in the human brain and the physical body. Outside of the SWS, it is like pulling strings. It is like a puppet on a string.
It is called the Sentient World Simulation. The program's aim, according to its creator, is to be a continuously running, continually updated mirror model of the entire planet, complete with billions of nodes representing every person on the Earth.
Involved in the process is an IBM Blue Gene supercomputer feeding data from the studies of real brains to build a virtual brain. Can you expand on that?
Sure. We do hope, as we did in the Genome Project, to have an internationally coordinated project. What we're doing in the United States already and will in the brain activity map include computational modeling. But the emphasis will be on measurement and stimulation, which allows you to test the models that are developed in computers.
So while the databases have been filling up with this digital biological information, the challenge becomes in part to go the other way. In fact, to also prove that what we're building in the computer databases represents real life and is both the information that's necessary and sufficient to drive all DNA-based life forms.
In 2010, the noted microbiologist Craig Venter and his team accomplished an incredible feat, surpassing their previous accomplishment of determining the complete sequence of the human genome. They created the first computer-designed, synthetically produced genome, which is the set of application programs for an organism. This artificial DNA had over 1 million letters of genetic code that were then read, processed, and executed by the computer systems in the target cell's nucleus.
They realized that the base pairs can be mounted into a chain in a way that functions like a computer, like a logical element.
So we're developing new software, in fact, where we can, in our computers, design new biological software to create new biological systems.
You redesign the cell, input genes in a logical order, put them in sets of like-functioning genes.
If you bring this RNA or DNA into the human body, you can kind of take a radio signal and activate it from outside to produce any substance you want or to produce any light you want. Light is emotion, light is thought, light is everything. Everything we sense as experience of ourselves. And a substance can do everything with us. It can poison us slowly, it can kill us immediately. And this is controllable by radio frequencies.
So we can actually do that now. We can actually, because with our synthetic cell, we start with the digital code in the computer. There's no difference between digital code and genetic code. And because digital code can move as an electromagnetic wave, basically close to the speed of light, we can now move biology at the speed of light. This has some practical applications. I don't know how many of you saw the movie Contagion. Well, real life is much better than science fiction. You could, instead of giving your girlfriend a genetic disease or an infection, you could email her one. So people could use this to do harm, as we see with computer viruses all the time. So you would want good computer and biological virus protection on your DNA decoder.
We seem to have a coronavirus. Actually, even if some people with symptoms test not having the virus, a virus seems to be in play. It looks like it's a creation from American bioweapon lab. What usually a coronavirus, just to take out some panic, is common flu. And because it's harmless, it's utilized in transhumanism to introduce synthetic RNA into the human genetics. So they just cut the corona into two halves and insert a little fraction in the middle that is normally synthetic biology to add some functions and applications to the human bioenergetics and genetics.
So we wrote this new code in the genome of this cell, including a URL, being the first species to have a computer as a parent. We thought it was important that it should have its own web address.
And the only reason for that is to hook up the technology to the individual so that they could then, once a frequency is emitted from a device and hits the target at the resonant frequency that target's body, brain, and DNA are already resonating at, already vibrating at, they sync up. And there's, for lack of a better term, a frequency superhighway that is connected between the device and the targeted individual. And it is upon this frequency superhighway that you can send data and information and instructions to the targeted individual, much in the same way that you can send data and instructions over fiber optic cables that power the internet, for example. And that's very much what's going on. They have unfortunately hacked the human mind, hacked the human brain and the human body. And it is once that superhighway a frequency is set up between the device and the targeted individual, they can send instructions. And those instructions ride on the wave of frequency that is tuned into the individual's resonant frequency. And then they can send instructions that manipulate thoughts, manipulate emotions, manipulate behavior, and manipulate even the vitals and so forth, the heartbeat, the breathing pattern of the targeted individual.
And this is, if you visualize this, it's like the old method with telephones, when you were dialing with sound. Every base pair has a resonance frequency. It's somewhere in the terahertz range. And if you hit the right frequency, it is opening, like a light conducting unit. And if you have a chain of these base pairs that react on different frequencies, you need a sequence of sounds to open all the fragments to make the entire thing conductive. So it goes like do-do-do-do-do, and then the next part of the genetic thing is activated to either produce light or to produce poison.
And we now have molecular nano devices that can do this. They can go from light to DNA, and they can go from ATP, other small molecules of DNA. So ions to DNA, and these are some of the graduate students and postdocs involved in this project. Ions to DNA, we have the ion channels that are going through the spiking, or in some cases, non-spiking behavior that Ted talked and Ed talked about. But here is influencing the fidelity of the DNA polymerase so that the time series of the calcium, say, turns into a spatial series of changes in the DNA sequence which you can then read out or compute on. And not just for the RNAs and other molecular identifiers, but what the brain was thinking.
I was assigned to an assignment, a security detail on a IDF facility that stores what is called the world of servers that the DNA databases are stored on. And working with at that time, people that were directly involved in experimenting on the SIS employees and then also the homeless population of Seattle, it was revealed to me through working with them that what was stored on those servers were in fact the DNA profiles of the people that were being tortured and abused, for lack of a better term, experimented upon by this technology. And that the way that the technology worked was to actually tap into the resonant frequency of the DNA itself, and that is how I became aware of the fact that the DNA is, of course, being stored by Amazon, the massive DNA databases, and one of the uses for it was, of course, to fine-tune this technology to each individual to have total biohacking capabilities on an individual.
Hacking DNA?
Well, they've been doing that for a while. I mean, putting all sorts of information in DNA, storing and encoding books and other long digital files in DNA. But this is using CRISPR-Cas9 to essentially have your DNA spy on you. The memory of this event, this exposure to a chemical or a protein or a stressor, is recorded in the DNA. These little short code segments over and over and over again.
This information is then downloaded and stored on a computer in a highly secure, classified site on servers that are guarded by some of the tightest security in the world. This results in the individual's entire day, everything they see, everything they hear, everything they experience, and everything they feel being recorded till the end of time.
The ultimate aim would be to archive enough data on each individual to be able to make a computer model of everyone on the planet.
What we're building in the computer databases represents real life and is both the information that's necessary and sufficient to drive all DNA-based life forms.
We talk often about the quantum computers, the kind of ability they've got to map and model humanity itself because of this Internet of Things that is all around us now as well. We're feeding all of our information back into this quantum computer that's basically got a virtual world where all of us have a digital avatar in there. They're able to manipulate the digital avatar in a virtual world, and that's actually translated to effects in the real world.
So if you can go back and forth in the computer, all of a sudden we can do something different, treating life as digital information. We can actually send that digital information as an electromagnetic wave, convert it back into DNA, and all life on this planet that we know of is all DNA based. We're probably 90% genetically software programmed. There's a lot of different things you can do to change the outcome or make things better or make them worse. It's easy to make them worse. We actually make 3D avatars. Once you make an avatar, you guys have all seen the movies, you can digitally make them do whatever you want. Send the digitized information at the speed of light as electromagnetic waves, and deconvolute it back at the other end back into biology.
The avatars and the nodes, when those are manipulated digitally in the simulation, it manifests physically in the human brain and the physical body. Outside of the SWS, it is like pulling strings. It is like a puppet on a string.
Q has studied the blood samples I gathered from the victims of the funeral. Just look at this.
What are we looking at?
This is the funeral of one of the dead Spectre agents from Cuba.
And here are the members of their family who made physical contact with the corpse. We found Heracles in the blood samples of all of them.
What are they?
They're nanobots.
Right.
Microscopic biorobots that can enter your system by the slightest contact with your skin.
Programmed with DNA to target specific individuals. Heracles was designed to be the most efficient weapon in our arsenal, passing through people harmlessly before reaching its intended target.
But Obrachev modified the nanobots so that they can kill anyone related to the target.
Anyone?
Well, since it's DNA-based with further modifications, yes. Families, certain genetic traits, single nucleotide variants and polymorphisms that could target a range from individuals to whole ethnicities. You infect enough people,
and the people become the weapon.
I'm going to need those, I'm afraid.
He's dead.
It's a good thing you're not actually related, or you'd be dead too.
How do I get this off?
Oh, you don't. You can't. Nanobots aren't just for Christmas. Once Heracles is in your system, it's there forever.